Hello, I'm Peter Towers, Managing Director of ESO's BIZTOOLS. Welcome to Accountant's Minute. I hope that you are weathering the storms and are able to guide your clients through this difficult time as they wrestle with a whole range of issues pertaining to COVID-19 coronavirus. But I think out of all this, there are tremendous opportunities for accountants to shine. Now, many of you have already played a great role with your clients, but I think there's a bigger opportunity now, and that is to really cement with your clients the understanding that accountants and accountancy firms are able to supply a broader range of services than what has been traditionally portrayed to SMEs, and that is to be the chief financial officer for your clients, to guide them through the process. And that, after all, is what many of you have been doing over the last 8 weeks. Kate Carnell, the Australian government's small business ombudsman, made a very direct comment to banks this week when she said banks are warned that they should not pull the plug too early on SMEs. And what Ms. Carnell was referring to was the issues that are likely to follow the 30th of September, when the banks will be under no compulsion from the government relative to the coronavirus SME guarantee loans to implement those loans, because the Reserve Bank has indicated that any unallocated money at 30th September 2020 is to be returned to them. And when you look at the amount of provisions that banks are making as per their interim financial reports for bad debts, I'm very fearful that banks will not be very much inclined to be lending money to businesses after the 30th September 2020. And I think that's what Kate Carnell was referring to, because she has indicated that, in her opinion, many SMEs are going to take until the end of 2021 to get their house back to normal. And one would hope that the banks do not take massive recovery action prior to that time. At this stage, many businesses are living in a bit of an unreal world, in that the government has prevented debt recovery action being taken by making short-term amendments to the Corporations Act and to other legislation. But that honeymoon period all expires at the end of September, unless the government decides to extend those restraints that they currently have on banks. I think the other problem for our clients is that post 30 September, it will be very difficult to secure grants from governments, because the governments have done a fantastic job in making grants available. They've probably spent what they normally would allocate over 3 years in 6 months. And I've got an expectation that once we get beyond September, that the governments are not going to be that keen on making grants available to businesses, particularly small and medium-sized enterprises. So where does that leave your clients? I think what you need to be doing is having these discussions with your clients now. Don't wait until the end of September. Talk to them now. Cement the relationship that you are their chief financial advisor, and talk to them about their budget expectations through until at least 31 December 2021, so that some cash flow planning can then be performed. Is the client going to need an injection of money And if so, where's that going to come from? And if the reliance is going to be on banks or government grants, I think I'd be thinking very hard about that and trying to decide whether you think that's a realistic expectation that those funds will be available, because I think it's going to be very difficult. And therefore, perhaps you should be starting to talk to your clients about the opportunity to raise capital under Section 708 of the Corporations Act, or as a crowdsource funding equity raising company. I really believe now is the time for the conversation, and I know you're all busy with tax returns and other matters. And perhaps you need to be talking to some other people like the affiliates that we have within ESS BIZTOOLS, who can assist you for short-term periods in undertaking assignments. So what are you going to need, especially if you decided you're going to lodge an application for a loan with a bank in the next couple of months? Your client's going to need a business plan, or at least a dot-point business plan, budgets and cash flow forecasts, and whatever other information the bank's looking for. But there is an opportunity to be offering these wider range of services. I think there is the real prospect that accountancy firms will be able to be seen as being shining examples of the trusted advisor service to your clients. Last Friday, we had an interesting webinar that featured Paul Barnaby, a prescriptive accountant consultant, and also the Australasian representative for Plan Guru, who introduced accountants to the case study that he has prepared, which identifies how you can prepare budgets, cash flow forecasts, predicted balance sheets for a client in under 60 minutes. And we also had Trent Butler, who is a chartered accountant in Sydney, who has specialised in assisting accountancy firms to really use social media, particularly LinkedIn, to target the type of clients that you would like to deal with. So if your preference is to deal with medical practitioners in certain areas of specialities, Trent can give you an overview of how you can target those clients, send them information, commentary on various issues affecting their professional life. You can watch the recording of both Paul Barnaby and Trent Butler in their presentations, together with an update on the COVID-19 coronavirus situation as it existed last Friday that I presented, by going to the link to the webinar recording that is detailed in the email that you received, giving you advice about this particular video presentation. This Friday, we have the 6th installment of the COVID-19 Survival Panel webinars. And the keynote speaker is Amanda Gascoigne, a chartered accountant from the Hunter Valley, who is going to be talking about the services that she can provide to assist accountants, especially smaller and solo accountants, to offer a better range of services to your clients. And I think Amanda's message applies to any size firm, because I've heard her present to various groups a number of times now, and I'm very impressed at the type of services that she offered. I'm going to be the other speaker on Friday, where I'm going to look at how you really zero in on this supplying a broader range of professional services to help your clients survive the post 30 September 2020 period, which I think could be very dramatic for many of your clients, unless there's been some preparation beforehand. You can register for the webinar by going to www.essbiztools.com.au/webinars. And I look forward to talking to you at that free webinar, whereby ESS BIZTOOLS and our associates like Amanda Gascoigne are making themselves available to give you an update and some encouragement as you perform this very important but difficult role to your clients through the current circumstances. Please stay safe, and I look forward to talking to you all again next week. Have a great day. Goodbye.